Okay, gang. Welcome to LinkedIn for Breakfast. Dozy to have you here. This is our little slice of marketing madness every single week, 9 a.m. UK time, every Wednesday. And we're going to talk about Sales Navigator today. We're going to be talking about the premium upgraded version of LinkedIn and what you should use it, why you should use it, why you shouldn't use it, where it's applicable, and in my opinion, how it can really help you to sort of rise above if you're going to only spend a certain amount of time on LinkedIn per week. So this is the deep dive. Hold on to your seatbelts because I'll be going through it as quickly as I can, but feel free to chat questions as we go into the chat, and we will have time for going back and forth on those as we go through. Right. So before I get started, what is my sinister plan for all you lovely people gathering here at LinkedIn for Breakfast? And really, our mission here is to make this a place where we can help entrepreneurs to be able to unlock the full potential of LinkedIn, both as a powerful tool for business development. That's the kind of getting the phone ringing, inbox pinging with inquiries piece, as well as brand expansion. What we mean by brand expansion is that do people recognize you as a personal brand? Do people recognize your company on LinkedIn as as a brand, right? And are you getting invited to stuff? Are people seeing, oh yeah, I know you, you're the person that does X, Y, and Z, right? So those are the things. If we can really kind of raise your profile as well as get you leads from raising that profile, because there's no point being an influencer if you're not getting any inquiries and making sales, right? You just got more people who like you. You know, it's a very soulless thing to do. But if you've got a great lead generation funnel, but you've got no traffic going down it, then it's not going to work because you just haven't got traffic. So we've got to do both of those things. So that's what we do here at LinkedIn for Breakfast. We take a slice, we unpeel it like an orange, and we do a segment every single week for you. And our vision is to try and make this the best place on earth to learn LinkedIn for free. And we've got a very cool new website that we're developing where you can see our entire calendar and lots of other resources. And we're going to actually be launching a bit of a blog, go back to the old school, but more article based kind of how to guides on the new website as well. So we're very excited about bringing that. Again, it costs you the square root of nothing. So you can share it with your friends. And actually, if you can do, so this is my ask, right? This is our lovely community. And let me show you this. So this is the free community to go into. This is where I put all the training and tools and stuff that we share. Look at this, members wise. If I go to members, we're 5,989 members. Really want to get to 6,000 this week. So could you possibly just take this URL and share it with someone, your nearest and dearest, and say, oi, there's some free stuff going on here. It's good. Rich is a bit weird, but the rest of it's all right. Share it with your friends because that'd be really kind of you to do it. And also get involved with this. There's questions that we ask. There's free training that we got in the classroom. There's a pod where we help and like and comment on each other's posts. So really worthwhile doing this. Okay, cool. So heading on back. Before we get started, new feature alert. New feature alert. Did anybody see this on LinkedIn? So LinkedIn last week updated what they do and have added a follow button next to everything in the comments. And this is quite important because if you go into LinkedIn and you just look at any, let's just go find someone who's got some decent comments. Here we go, 80 comments, perfect, right? So there's a load of people in here. Now, if I am connected to these people, oh, this is interesting. Am I connected to this person here? Let's have a look. So I'm only seeing her. There you go, perfect. It's a bit weird. All I can see is Simi's comments on her own post. She's got 80 comments. I haven't seen something like that before. But here you go. There is people. So I'm obviously connected with Simi. But here you go. Here's someone that's connected who's not connected to her, and you can see here this follow button comes up. And so why is this important? Well, if you are commenting and liking and working a commenting strategy, which we'll talk about a little bit later when we go on to Sales Navigator today, you will then start to see who you're connected with, who you're not connected to. And also, if you're commenting on someone else's post and they see you commenting, they will actually see that they're not connected to you or following you, right? And so you get to see these followers. So if I just show you how this might transpire on, say, one of our posts, if I go and show, like, so here's, if I go to our one of the posts that we talked about here, this is the post that we're promoting for this campaign. And I go down to this and I go maybe look at my most recent comments. Um, I will see there's some people in here that are first degrees, but I can do a quick scan and I go straight away, bam, okay, here's someone here who's commented on my post that I'm not connected to. And then that gives me the opportunity to go and actually check them out and work out, do I want to then actually grow that connection and send a connection request. Now, this is the word of warning to you guys. If you are just using the follow button, right? So I just send Phil a follow here. I'm now following him. I'm not connected with him, so it means that I can't send a DM to him. I will just see his stuff. So if you'll start to see your followers probably grow, but not all of those will be connections. And so you need to just remember that if you are proactively doing this for connection messaging and like a DM lead generation strategy, this don't use this follow thing. However, if you are proactively commenting on other people's posts and you're starting to kind of bring a debate, when you do a comment and it's actually a really well thought out comment, it's not AI, it's like a decent comment, and people go, oh, that's a good point, and they'll back and forth, and before you know it, you can actually see how many views you're getting on particular comments, and you'll see your comment got a decent amount of impressions compared to other comments. That's where you'll gain followers from making a follow-up comment on a post that's going viral. So if someone's an influencer and puts out a piece of thought leadership and then you follow it up with a comment that's decent about that, and then maybe there's a bit of a commenting exchange underneath, you will gain followers from the person who's posted its followers. So it's a good kind of arbitrage of how you do it. Let me just explain that one more time because I know some people like me are visual people. And so I really want to kind of nail this strategy for you, right? Let's say you're a life coach, right? And Tony Robbins puts out a great post, right? He's been there and he's got loads and loads of followers, okay? So to get that viral, that's correct. There's the people that are going to be commenting on his stuff. You know that these people are probably going to be 80% target audience. You know that if anybody's commenting on Tony Robbins stuff, probably is interested in sort of personal development, life coaching, and you're a life coach, for example, right? So you could go onto there and you could put together a well thought about comment that really, continues the conversation of the thought leadership. Now, if Tony actually then comments back, what will happen is the impressions on your comment will go up, right? And you can actually see how many impressions your comments get when you're doing these commentings. And so it will raise, some people can even pin like your comment to the top, right? So you can really kind of have a comment that does well. And then if you've got this follow button, what will happen is that you will get a big chunk of people who are reading this will then go and see, oh, actually, that makes sense. This person obviously knows what they're talking about. They'll check you out. And then also it's very easy to convert that attention on your comment to a follower. And of course, then that will raise your following. And then if people are following and mostly like to see your stuff. And then, of course, then if you're doing content like, hey, come along to my event, then, or two-step post, like comment XYZ below and I'll send you something, then that's how you can then siphon Tony's audience into your audience. And then if you've got those call to action posts like a two-step post, then you can siphon them into a lead generation funnel. Get it? So that's the kind of the reason why this can really help. And it's everybody should have it. You don't need to have premium. It will be there. You won't see yours. You'll only see it if somebody is second degree connection. So you can test it, right? So go and have a look at this. So you can see all of these people, first degree connection, first degree connection. So I don't have a follow button. Only Phil here has a second degree connection. But again, remember, I don't want to follow Phil. I'd actually quite like to connect with Phil. So you want to see how I'm already following, but I want to actually, you can see here. Oh, it looks like I have already sent a connection request to Phil. That would have been like my team might have tried to connect with him previously. So what you would normally see, although I'm following him, you'll see in here that, asked to connect, but there is already a connection request pending. So Phil, if you're on this call, set my connection. But that wouldn't be the case for normally, even if I just press the follow. So you probably want to follow up and actually connect. The reason why, as I repeat, you can send messages to people that are your connections. You can't if you're following them, right? So cool. Hope that helps. It should automatically be set up there for you. Good. Right. That's a nice little detour. The second little detour, here's something, right? So if I want to go and comment back to people, I've been playing about with a really cool tool called Whisperflow. And I imagine a few people have thought about or maybe heard of Whisperflow before. But if I show you this, so here's a post in here. So you talk about 20 years working across transformation programs, seeing the same broken patterns. How's Project Phoenix, me on track, right? So if I wanted to be able to comment on here, I could then go and use Whisperflow, where I use a hotkey on my dashboard. So it's Control and the Windows key on my keyboard. And I can say a comment that looks like this. And I can say to Phil, well, I think this is a really great post that you're putting together, and I really agree with the XYZ comments you're putting together. I think it's excellent, right? And I press return, and bam, that text that has just been appeared like this. But the beauty of Whisperflow is you can see here, it's actually punctuated it and it's put capitals together and full stops in the right place. So it's not just audio to text like you would have on your phone. This is actually using AI to put that together into a really nice structure. And so when we're thinking about writing articles, newsletters, putting out content, putting out comments, this can be a massive game saver. For me, I do everything now through Whisperflow. I just talk it when I'm replying to emails, etc. And it's super clever because it will tell you how much faster. You can see here that 14,000 words, 129 words per minute. So the whole point of this is there's no way I can type 129 words per minute. So it speeds up even if I was typing it by saying it, right? And then using this. It's super clever. It's got a free trial. Give it a go. It's really cool. In fact, I've got a link in here that gives you an extra bonus free trial. Let me just dig it up. Here we go. So there's a unlimited words for 1 month. So you can try this for 1 month using unlimited words. Have a play with this, right? So it's in the chat there, guys. It's so cool. I love it. I think it works great. Just click that, have it open that one. Flora, can we have this in the email that we'll send or the follow-up as a link to people as well? Because it's really awesome, Whisperflow. Cool. Right. Those are the two things I wanted to update you on. I'm having fun with those. Let's talk about Sales Navigator. Right. First of all, the problem or why, right? So one of the things that Sales Navigator is really good at is finding the best leads. When you're talking about getting a funnel together, what you put into the top is what you get out the end, right? So if you put crap in the top, what do you get out the end, right? So we got to make sure that when we're doing searches on LinkedIn and when we want to do connection requests, because the whole point of this, right? If we start to think about why are we doing, let me just get rid of all this. There we go. The whole point of thinking about doing some sort of LinkedIn outreach campaign is that we want to get a data set of people, right? So a target audience data set. And we want to then be able to send them connection requests. And then from those connection requests, once they connect, we send them messages and we push them on to some sort of call to action, right? And then that call to action, hopefully, they then sign up for our database. So they might come along to an event, they might come along to a newsletter, whatever it is, but you move them from LinkedIn. So this is kind of everything above here is LinkedIn. LinkedIn owns the audience here, right? They own your target audience. If you can move them into your list or your email list on your CRM, then suddenly you own those people's names, email addresses. They are subscribing to something. And so from there, you can then send them further emails and get them into a meeting and then hopefully sell them something, right? So then this becomes awareness. So this is kind of awareness. And then when they get into your email, there's consideration. And then when they book a sales meeting, then that's convert, right? So there's kind of those three stages. And we have to go that transition from LinkedIn owns them to actually they've subscribed to you. You now have those as a bona fide lead. Super, super important. But this list if we're working with something that is like, some of them are right, some of them are wrong, you have a limitation to the amount of connection requests you can send per week. It's 100, right? Now, it's not a hard stop at 100, but if you start to get 110, 120, LinkedIn will then send you a notification to say you've exhausted the amount of connections that you can make this week. You can no longer do more. Now, with Sales Navigator, you can actually push that probably a little bit more, maybe 10% per week more, but that's not the reason why you'd have it, but it just means it's about 100 per week. We always say 20 a day for 5 days a week is the amount of connections you can send. Okay, so that's how you can grow your audience. So if you could only grow your audience by potentially 100 per week, of which, by the way, on average, 30% connect, that's good. So 30% will connect. So you're only going to actually have like 30 new connections per week. So when we're looking at those ratios, if this is like, 60% good, then 30 actually becomes less, right? You're more like 18 of those people are going to be, in there. Or well, maybe you just have a slightly less, if you're trying to get 30% of 60% because that's where the connections are wrong, right? So you want to make sure this list is as 10 out of 10 as you can make it in terms of quality. So when we're looking at this real kind of lead generation piece, who is that specific target market? How are we going to find them? And when it's a difficult audience, this is where Sales Navigator comes into its own. Because I will show you on the free tool there, you can do quite a lot with the free tool, right? So if you go on to search, you can say, I'm looking for founder plus coach. Um, and so I want to have people who own coaching companies. Cool. Right. So I can find that. I can press people like this. And these are the people like this. Now, I don't want to connect with people who are already my first degree connections. So I can then say second degree connections. This is all free. I'm showing you the free way of doing this. Right. So now I can see founders plus coach who are secondary connections. And now I can also go location. And I can go, let's say Surrey in oh, it's not giving me Surrey. Can I go Surrey, UK? Is it going to allow me to do that? Let's try that. It's not giving me that. What you want to try and do is actually get it up as there. Let's just go London, shall we? Yeah, perfect. London area, right? It's not, you can see how those are not great. So it didn't actually show me Surrey as a county there. It does in Sales Navigator. Show results. And so now I've got a nice list. And so here's all the coaches that I can go after who are founders, who are secondary connections, and I could work my 100 a day. So if we're doing this, what you would do is you would press connect, 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 connect. You would go through these, you'd get to 20, you'd make a note that you got to Duncan, and then tomorrow you do the new search and you'd go back and you'd do this again. Now, if you do like 4 or 5 searches in a day, different searches, it will also LinkedIn tell you you've used up your free searching limit. So you also have a limit to the amount of searches like I've just showed you here in here. So that this is as far as you can go. But what if I only wanted to work with people who are over 1 million in revenue? Because maybe I'm an accountant and I work with specific businesses over 1 million in revenue. Or what if I only wanted to work with women? Or what if I wanted to only, I don't know, work with people who have just moved jobs because I'm trying to sell them some sort of new technology, and I'm fine. I want to get into people who have just become head of HR in a new company, so I feel like I've got an opportunity to get into them then, right? Or what if the search is so big, there's so many people, I only want people who are active on LinkedIn, so I can see people who have posted in the last 30 days. There's lots of different ways to try and refine the quality of this list down, particularly if you've got difficult to find searches. And so this is where Sales Navigator comes in. So Sales Navigator, if you've got it top right, you click on this, you go into Sales Navigator. Sales Navigator gives you a home page to start off with. I'm going to come back to the home page because I'm going to finish off my little demo on searches and the difference between it. But the home page here actually is really significantly significant in terms of quality and why it's worth using Sales Navigator. But let's go on to the searches. So I'm going to go to lead filters here. And this gives us a full set of filters that we can use to be able to find our target audience using Sales Navigator. So now I've got things like company headcount, which you don't have on the free version, right? I've got things such as where's the headquarter, company type. So is it a, if I only wanted to work with, self-employed people, if I wanted to target non-profits, I can look on this. I can also look at, the connections and stuff is still here. But I could also do things like group members, and I can actually look at different people who are same groups as me. I can look at seniority. I really like because the point being that I had to go founder plus coach. You see in that search term, whereas actually seniority for me just means I can include anybody who's an owner or a partner. Okay, so if I wanted anybody who's an owner and a partner, and if I wanted people within the United Kingdom or London, let's go London. Here, perfect. And I wanted people who were, well, actually, I could again go London again here. And then you want to start to go do through here. There's different hacks you can do. So I really like there's a few things I'll show you in terms of campaigns that works well, but one of the ones that I love is this recent update. So have they changed jobs? So this is if you kind of go for corporate, that's quite good because if people in new positions look at new suppliers. But I like this posted on LinkedIn. So this is people who have posted on LinkedIn in the last 30 days. And so that means that we can click this. And so now what we're doing is we see there's 11,000 results here. So we're tailoring it down and making sure we're getting just the right types of company, right? Industry obviously is important. So if I go coaching, professional coaching and training, so I can actually look at the right industry. So I'm tailoring and tailoring and tailoring here until I'm finding the perfect type of people to be able to target, right? And so you just want to look at this, find the right people, and then focus on them. And actually, the company headquarters piece is the thing that's dragging the search down. Here you go. So 486, 87 results within professional training within the London area, owner stroke partner, and posted on LinkedIn in the last 30 days. So these are the people that are really like rocking it. So there could be a great list. Now, what I can do with these people is I can select them all and I can save them to a list and I can save them to my target coaches list. So I can now create a list of, hey, here's all the targets that I want to be working with. And now I can then go and actually see people within that list. So I can just do a search for those people. Now, once I've put them in a list, the cool thing about this is that I can go to home and then I can go to my alerts and I can go and search on my alerts for my leads list. And I can then go and have a leads list of people who are my clients. So I can see all of them. And also I can have a list of people who are, say, targets for me being able to, work on them, right? So now I've got target coaches. And what does this mean? Well, this is a feed of the activity of those specific people that I'm trying to target. So I haven't sent them connection requests yet, but now I can go onto here and I can see that they are posting. So I can click on here and view, and now I can see the post that they put out. And each day, every time someone posts within that list, it will go to the top of this. So it's like an aggregated together news feed of content. Now, if you do the scroll test on LinkedIn normal, so if I go onto LinkedIn, now I'm connected with 20,000 odd people. So if I go onto my home, LinkedIn is serving what it thinks that I'm going to be interested in. So here's one post that's on here. And then my next one is an advert, right? So this is a random person that's in my network. Then it's an advert. Then it's another person in my network, another person in my network, and then another advert, another advert. So you see how I'm getting hit with adverts, and also I've got no way of specifically squeezing this feed to be just the people who I want to see the information from. Whereas if I'm trying to be abundant in someone's world, if I'm trying to really get them to take attention or pay attention to me, I can go onto here, put them into a lead list, and then I can go through and go, okay, cool. Let's make sure that I go and view each one of these posts. I go see what they're talking about.
coach to realise
And
that they're
then
missing a skill set that they
and then I can go into this and look, this Sarah has posted this. And what I can do is I can now clam her, which is a horrible, horrible expression, but I'll tell you what it means. It means that it says clam like this. You heard it right. And what that means is it's comment like, I'm doing this with a mouse now, not my pen, so I can't even, it's not even as good as normal. So the whole point of this, I can comment, like, add, and then message, right? So let me show you what that means in real life. This is how you get into an audience that has an increase, you'll increase the likelihood of them connecting with you by clamming, okay? So I'm not connected to her yet, but first of all, let me comment. So I'm going to say, um, using whisper flows, of course, I agree. It's always important to keep on improving your skill sets. I'm always working on my presentation skills, particularly from stage. What are you working on? So there you go. I can say, what are you working on? Um, Actually, I'm not going to say what are you working on. It's a bit confrontational. I agree. It's all important to keep on improving your skill set. I'm always working on my presentation skills, particularly from stage. Lovely. Thank you, Whisperflow. So now I've commented, right? I'm going to like, and here's the cool thing. Never, if you are going to manually do these like things, never do a normal like with a thumbs up. Do a different one. Make it insightful, right? So she's like, oh, okay, because you can't do that automatically. You have to have a human. So I've commented like. Now I'm going to add, which is sending the connection message. So now I sent a connection request. And so the next thing I'd want to do is then send her a message. Okay. And the message would be, oh, and actually, annoyingly, sorry, I demonstrated that wrong because what I should have done, and I'll just show you on a random person here, I shouldn't have just used that connect button. It was very tempting. I pressed it by mistake. What I should have done is gone to her profile, not this person, Paul's, and pressed connect on their profile and then added a note because this is the message part, the M of clam. And then what I should have said is, hey, Sarah, thank you for sharing that great video about finding the skills that you're missing. I hope it's all well. Just thought I'd say hi, right? Now I've sent a message and I reference her post within that message, and I've also not tried to sell her something, right? So it's just like, hey, liked your post, just thought I'd say hi. The likelihood of her accepting that after seeing me comment and liking her post is very high. And so, therefore, by sending it, which I won't do because Paul's going to be very weirded out if I'm sending this, and obviously she's going to get that message from me anyway, right? So that's how you can really start to get your teeth into this. Think about those sort of difficult kind of HR type people that you can't get into, or the corporate ones you can't get into. Really difficult. So this allows you to aggregate this together and work this data in this way. And so then you can keep on messaging. You can obviously flag people, etc. in them. Other things, for example, here's the revenue. So if you want accounts, you can look at what their current revenue is. So from this to this, and obviously currency wise, you can look at company headcount growth. So see how companies are going. You can look at the company's recent activity. Have they have a funding event in the last 12 months? That could be important. Or senior leadership change in the last 3 months. So there's some really nice things you can do. Here's another little hack that I'll tell you. First name. So if I wanted to search for everybody with a first name of James, who is in the industry of coaching and is in the UK, what I can do is now I've got 1,500 Jameses that are coaches in the UK who who I could target. Why would this be significant? Well, what I can do is I can get my phone out and I can do a little video and I can go, Hey James, just thought I'd reach out to you and say hi. We're running this really cool event of Sales Navigator training on Wednesday. And as a coach, I think it'd be perfect for you. You should come along to it. Let me know, drop me a DM or something, and hope you're safe and well, mate. Hope the coaching business is going great. Cheers, mate. Bye. 1,500 times, people. How personal is that? Could be an audio drop, could be a video drop. Oh, with great power is great responsibility, my friends. This is why you come here. So have fun with that, right? I love that one. I love that one. So if you ever get personal video from me, honestly, for you it's special. I only do it for you. Um, so you can see how these things you can play about with it, and it's all about that concept. You've only got 100 opportunities a week. First of all, are you using those 100 opportunities? If you're not, you don't get them back. Next week there's a new 100, they don't roll over. Secondly, are you taking enough responsibility for the quality of who you're connecting with, if those 100 people? The third thing is, are you doing enough to guarantee that you are getting the connection with the messages that you're putting out? Because remember, if you're using the free version, you actually can't send a bespoke message to these people. You get like three a month or something stupid like that. So not being able to even send a connection message means that you don't stand out in that inbox. So there's another thing to think about. And then the fourth thing is when you get really ninja and start doing things like the first name connection message. And also, by the way, just to let you know, these Jameses might also be your current connections, right? So instead of just going everybody, we could then go first degree because you might have, I've got 23 Jameses who are in my personal connection. So I don't even need to send them connections. I could literally go through this and send them a message directly now using this tactic. So again, super, super easy to be able to pull this out and work it through. So just things to think about there, gang. And to show you this, by the way, when you send a message, you're just in here, attach a file, go to the file, send it. Obviously, I'm not going to send James a picture of my wife's passport photo, but that's how you would find the video. So you record it, save it, put it on there. Hey, James, just thought I'd say hi. Boom. So simple. And then you just do that 23 times. Or, of course, you can get a VA to do that for you. You just have to record it once and you do what you would do is just do it for like all the top names that you know, and then just hand it over and see what they see what your VA says. Cool. Right. Um, that's probably most of what I wanted to show you for now. There's just a couple of very quick things that I wanted to show you that also helps. You get these alerts by email for a Sales Navigator when you get different activities that's happening within the alerts list that you're following. That can be useful. And of course, you get new leads. So when you've created an account, they will also say, oh, this person has become a new lead within your search here. And finally, and then I'm going to open this up to questions. If you use something like Expandy, which is a software that we recommend, it's an automation software. We use it. I'll put it into the chat here. This is a link that gives you an extended free trial. So click on this link here. You can then automatically load new lists into a connection campaign. So the whole point here is if you've got Sales Navigator set up and you've got this as a, say there's 2,000 people in here of coaches in the UK that have posted in the last 30 days. Obviously, in 30 days' time, there'll be new people that have posted. And so, what you can do is you can have an automatic reload into an automatic connection campaign. So, Expandy will do your 20 connection requests a day and it will take a Sales Navigator search directly into it and it will automatically reload that Sales Navigator search every week based upon people's activity on LinkedIn if they're connected. And so then your messages, your connection requests can be automatic, your messages can be automatic, and then putting people into call to action posts you can have set up that then should give you the leads. And then these leads can then send automatic emails and boom, before you know it, you have this. And setting this all up, you can get a VA to do this for you, but it just shows that you can have all of this, set it up, and then let the activity or the people using LinkedIn to be the trigger for them being loaded into your connection campaign, and off you go. Hope that helps. Um, right, my friends. Actually, I just realized on Expander you can have multiple campaigns. So I could have a James, Dave, Bob's, Jane video campaign that's set up. And when a new James becomes a coach in the UK, it will trigger that through a Sales Navigator automation into the James campaign. That's clever. Love that. Anyway, right. So that's probably all I've got to say about that. Let me jump on. I hope has that helped? Has that been a magical mystery tour? Okay, right. Whew. There's a lot going on there, Diggy. So let's have a look at this. So people are saying, "Oh, good to see you, Sam. Welcome, welcome." So two Sam Molan, Sam Norris. Good to see you both. Welcome, welcome. Let's get into this. So, is premium worth the investment? Is the question, right? So, I'm going to answer that question. Just before I do, if you are thinking, wow, there's some stuff here that I really should be thinking about, and Richard's only just scratching the surface, we offer a free LinkedIn profile audit for anybody on this call who's looking at their LinkedIn profile, not quite sure if it's right or wrong. If you haven't had one before, it's a free profile audit. One of my team will go through your profile with you one to one and show you how you can improve your headline, your banner, your about section, get some call to actions on it. If you haven't taken us up on that offer, you're crazy. You should jump in and do that. So here it is here. I'm going to put this into the chat. It's, as I say, totally free. And we will go through your headline, your profile, maximizing recommendations, lead generation, experience, and give you tips. The whole point of this, you can take those tips, you can implement it yourself. If you're interested, we'll also show you that we can give you a VA to go do it all for you, but it's completely no obligation, and don't feel in any way that you need to do that. But lots of people go, well, Richard, how do you actually make any money? I do it. We do VAs. Lots of people have got virtual assistants, and we supply those virtual assistants. So all the coaching, all the training that I'm showing you is free. So you can always not. There's no kind of big, accelerator upsell here, guys. So jump on one of those. Take some of those ideas and tips. There'll be some interesting things that will help you with it. So do jump into that. Good. Okay. So premium, is premium worth it? Now, when you actually think about premium, none of the Sales Navigator stuff that I showed you is relevant. You don't get any of that. But what you do get is some cool stuff on LinkedIn. So you can send connection requests with specific messages if you've got premium. So I can send a connections on there. I can also, with premium, do what's called a custom button. So you can see on here, I can add a custom button, such as view my services, which is annoying because that's the wrong custom button for me. I don't know why that's converted to view my services. That's very annoying. But you can go down to here and go edit custom button, which is lucky because I don't know why. And you can go choose one of these. I normally do visit my website because I push people into LinkedIn for breakfast. Here you go. I'm fixing this on the fly because for whatever reason, my custom button changed. Maybe because I was doing the LinkedIn services demo last time, and I can press done. But regardless, here you go. If I refresh this, visit my website. Perfect. And so when someone presses that, it will then go to my community on there. Why is this important? Oh, because you can have a link on here anyway with the non-premium version, but you can't have a button. And the whole point of a button is it follows you around. So if I go and look at my post impressions and say, let's just expedite this for say 365 days, you'll be able to, so it's 1.5 million views. I can go look at some of the analytics on say some of the posts that I've had that's done well. And when I go through this, I've had custom, so I can see I had 46 people click on my custom button from this one post. So that's 46 people who have visited my LinkedIn for Breakfast community and probably have joined. And so I can see from specific posts direct leads that are coming from that. Now, if I didn't have the custom button, I wouldn't have had this. And why do people click on it? Well, if we actually look at the profile here, you'll see there's a visit my website link. And that visit my website link happens because it's underneath my profile, right? So that's why people can see this. You don't get that with it. Cool. Um, Further questions? Who's got further questions? Who feel free to unmute and ask. Who we got? What we got? What we got? No questions?
Morning. I've got a
Oh,
question.
morning, Leanne. Good to see you.
Morning. My question, which came up actually on the chat, because I think there's somebody else that's got the same problem of the Sales Navigator. Is that part of the premium package, or is that something additional that you've got to purchase?
Yeah. So there's two tiers. So premium,
Mm,
which gives you the kind of custom buttons, better analytics. You know, you can put your messaging strategy, more searches, all on LinkedIn. That's like one tier up. Sales Navigator's above it. So
right.
Sales Navigator's like, I think it's an annoying amount of money. I think I pay £66 a month, but I might have a legacy payment. I think it's more like £78 a month or something around that for that. Whereas premium, I think it's like 30 or something along those lines. So it's an annoying amount of money. I don't feel like it's. I think if it was slightly less, I'd be like saying everybody should get it. But it's just that little bit in that kind of window of like, oh,
Yeah.
another
I
payment.
think premium is in the 60s now.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. And
Yeah, I
Graham
think
just
it's
said
a
it's
lot higher than that.
£94 per month for Sales Navigator.
Mm,
Yeah. So this is yeah, so you want to be able to think about that. But you can do a free trial. So do the free trial, see what you think, have a play with it. If you're like, no, actually, this is really optimizing my time, because at the end of the day, what's your time worth? Because if you're using
mm,
it every single day and you're getting outreach and you're getting into that perfect ICP, then you're like, well, actually, one of these deals, if it comes off, pays the whole year anyway. So sometimes you can work on that, which is why they have it at that price, because corporates have to pay it to be able to find it. Good. Flora's just reminded me. So is John Cooper in the room? So John, I think we have a Kickstart session in a second. So I will close the room in a second. I'm just going to answer Sam Norris's question. So Richard, one of the issues I have with search in my industry is my ICP is a SME property developer. Okay, which means they usually do this as a side hustle at this point. So they are listed on LinkedIn as whatever their job is they're currently doing. Right. Okay. Good. So interests based. So perhaps some people will be like, in insurance or be a banker or whatever, but they actually do property development on the side, or a builder and do property development on the side. So what you want to do is look at groups. So property developers, and then once you do a search, so do a search for property developers, then click on groups, and now you'll find these groups of people. And so the beauty of this, if I join the UK Property Investors Group on Sales Navigator, I can then go to a lead filter, and then I can go to groups, and it only is for groups that I'm a member of. So I can go into here and go, I don't know, press UK in. So I've got a group in here that's UK businesses. And so now I can do a search for anybody in that group, and then I can add all of those into a leads list, and then I can go do a connection strategy into them. I can do an automation into connecting to all those people. So they are, yeah, that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is doing it on people that follow other people. Now I'm just trying to think, can I actually do that in Sales Navigator? Follow connections of, yes. So if I become a connection of, let's think about someone who's got a big profile. Let's think about I don't know. Well, I'm just going to say I'm going to put you in, Sam. So there you go. So I can go and see all of Sam's connections here. It's a bit cheeky, isn't it? So if you know you've got competitors or influencers who are property developers, I can then go and put your name in, and then I can go and see all your connections, and then I can go and hit up your connections that way. So you basically go and target the other thought leaders in your industry, as long as you're connected to them, or your competitors, and or you go and hit up groups. And so lots of people say, well, there's no way of having gender because gender is not something you can look for on Sales Navigator. So to answer that one as well for gender, you find women in business groups, you join lots of women in business groups, and then you go and do the group search and then go and target people within those groups. You feel me? Cool. Love it. Right, my pedigree chums. I got a wrap because John Cooper, if you're in here, I think you are. We're going to do a Kickstart session.
I'm here. Yeah.
Oh, good to see you, John. Sorry. So I'm going to close the room down, John, and then I'm going to reopen it for just you and me and your new VA. So
Okay.
if you don't mind just popping back on
No
this
problem.
link. Everybody else, lovely to see you. Do jump on. Do you remember there's that LinkedIn profile audit in there? Please do jump in and do that. I'll just put the link one more time so you can click on it and have it open, ready to book on once I close down the room. So here you go, gang. Click on that link now that's in the chat and then it's available for you. Until then, big love. Take care. See you either on a LinkedIn profile audit or next Wednesday, 9 a.m. See you later. Bye.